good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to all, depending where you are listening us from. I'm Isolina BOTO from COLEAD, and I'm very, very pleased that you join us today for our session number 13, a part of the innovation sessions that we organize as a COLEAD with the Pan-African Farmers Organization. Today we will discuss again the producers and SMEs innovations, led innovations in Africa, but more in agroecological practices and sustainable agri-food systems. So we'll see some of the innovations from the field that some of our entrepreneurs are doing. So before getting into the topic, I would like to give the floor to Dr. Babafemi OYEWOLE, who is the CEO of the Pan-African Farmers Organization, the co-organizers of this series. You will know him from his current actually assignment and previous ones as well. Before being the CEO of PAFO, he was also the CEO of the African Agribusiness Alliance, the former CEO of the African Cashew Alliance, and he had also many high-level and executive responsibilities from regional, international, and African organization. He's the member of African Regional Experts on Policy Dialogue and Natural Resource-Based Development at the OECD as well, and has worked very closely with UNCTAD. So Babafemi, thank you very much. I know you have also many activities going on in Rwanda, which is the headquarters of PAFO this week. So I thank you very much for joining us, and please, you have the floor for some comments. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Isolina, for that introduction. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on which time zone you are joining us for this 13th edition of our innovation series. As Isolina had already introduced me, I am Babafemi OYEWOLE, the CEO of the Pan-African Farmers Organization. It is my pleasure to welcome you all to this edition of the innovation series. The series has become a widely accepted event and a veritable source of knowledge and information for producers and SMEs in the agriculture and food systems space. Agriculture and food systems are facing a lot of challenges, including climate change and local and global crises that are affecting the productivity of smallholder farmers and the activities of SMEs. The ongoing crisis between Russia and Ukraine, which caused the shortage of fertilizer and essential farming inputs, exposed the vulnerability of African smallholder farmers to such external shocks. Climate change has also a negative impact on agricultural production, destroying lives and crops and livelihoods and increasing food insecurity. To feed the world sustainably, producers need to grow more food while reducing negative environmental impacts on soil, water, nutrient loss, greenhouse gas emissions, degradation of ecosystems. Therefore, a sustainable food system is the one that delivers food security and nutrition in such a way that the economic, social, and environmental food resources for future generations are preserved. Agroecology is one of the approaches that integrates and applies ecological and social principles to the design and management of sustainable agriculture and food systems. It is a set of agricultural practices that has evolved in recent decades and have expanded in scope from a focus on fields and farms to encompass the entire agriculture and food systems. In Africa, to address the problem of inadequate food production and food insecurity in the face of teeming population, smallholder producers, and agricultural value chain actors often diversify their activity to strengthen resilience. Knowledge, skills, and information are critical for supporting the transition to more sustainable practices and adopt new production, processing, marketing methods by smallholders, farmers, producers, and SMEs. This is the reason that the 13th edition of Innovation Series is focusing on producers and SME innovations in agroecology for sustainable agri-food systems. It will give opportunity for producers and SMEs to showcase their innovations in agroecological practices that contributes towards agroecological farms such as crop rotation, intercropping, use of organic fertilizers, biological pest controls, improvement in soil health, use of cover crops, etc. We hope that sharing experiences will help to ventilate these practices to scale up agroecological transitions for food systems sustainability and resilience. I want to thank all of us who are connected from all over the globe to this innovation series, and particularly this edition. And I also thank COLEAD for the technical support and the preparation of the innovation series and assembling high quality resource persons and relevant SMEs in discussing this theme, which is very important to the sustainability of food systems. Once again, I welcome you to this session and wish you all a successful session. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Babafemi, for these kind words. And it's always a pleasure from COLEAD to work with the smallholders, farmers organizations in Africa, and to showcase indeed innovations from the field. So we have done a few already last year and the year before in our series about agroecology, or some of the elements of agroecology. You will have many references in the documents we have produced, so we will not go through the all elements of agroecology as defined by FAO and others, the diversity, the efficient use of resources, the nutrient recycling, etc. We will just pick up some successes from entrepreneurs, smallholders, and businesses that showcase some of the key part, like biofertilizers or circular economy, which contribute certainly to a more sustainable food systems and agroecological practices. And this is to show that it's already happening, and with some support and investment from all of us at our respective levels, we can certainly expand and upscale some of those successes from small and medium enterprises. So without a major delay, the kind of areas we want to look at is what are those key innovations, some of those innovations that farmers and entrepreneurs develop and adopt, what type of investments they have made but are also needed for us to support entrepreneurs to further develop agroecological practices, and what incentives for some of the donors, financial institutions, and so on that are amongst the 600 participants registered today. What incentives and support can they provide to SMEs and smallholders to better acquire some technical skills that Babafemi referred to, needed to contribute to a sustainable and circular economy. So without major delay, let's listen to our first entrepreneur from Kenya, Robin Ndugu, a founder and CEO of Kisumeo Organics. Robin actually is in the area of crawfish farming business in Kenya. So he came, his business model actually is really contributing to the empowerment of smallholders in Africa to create sustainable and climate resilient aquatic food systems. And also his background is not in agriculture, but we see that from many entrepreneurs, which is also a very good sign, because it means that agriculture can be attractive to any background, outside the agricultural family as well. In 2022, and I congratulate you for that on behalf of our audience today, Robin, you were awarded for your contribution to climate change adaptation and resilience across Africa, a winning prize from the Africa Youth Adapt Challenge during the COP27. So please, in 10 minutes, Robin, if you can share your success and a bit the innovations you have done in this area. Robin? Hello. And you are in your farm, so yes. Very nice seeing you there. Please.
Yeah. Okay. Hello, everyone. This is Robin Ndugu. I hope you can see me, right?
We can see you, Robin, and we can hear you.
Great. So I'm Robin Ndugu, and I'm the founder and CEO of Kisumeo Organics. Kisumeo Organics, we're an aquatech company where we empower smallholder farmers with climate smart solutions to enable them to produce crawfish all year round. And also, we provide the farmers with sustainable solutions to produce crustaceans, not just crawfish. We've updated our portfolio to cover crustaceans, whereby we have projects doing lobsters and shrimp. So yes, our Kisumeo Organics, it's an aquatech company registered in Kenya. We've been involved in different value chains, but right now, before we could settle in aquaculture, and it was because of different causes and reasons why we had to settle on aquaculture. But aquaculture, it's an underdeveloped value chain in the country, and also another avenue for smallholder farmers to generate revenue. So yeah, you can go to the next slide. Yes, so our mission as Kisumeo Organics is to attain all-year production of aquaculture products, whereby currently we are doing crawfish, but we also ventured in mariculture, whereby we use climate smart technology to enable smallholder farmers to able to produce quality product for the market all year round. You know, our innovation is climate smart, in whereby most fisher wild caught fish, they are dwindling because of climate change has caused changes in temperature, changes in weather pattern, also changes in rainfall pattern. So the seasons of how fishermen are able to access fish have changed. So with our technology and our innovation, we are able to produce this crawfish fry for farmers all year round, ensuring all year production, whereby farmers would experience seasons whereby they are not producing, or seasons where they are not harvesting wild catch crustaceans. So yeah, next page. So yes, with our business model, whereby we support smallholder farmers, we train smallholder farmers, and on crawfish farming from pond to fork. Then we supply smallholder farmers with crawfish fries, quality and selectively bred crawfish fries, and we offer these farmers buyback agreements, whereby we assure them market for the crawfish. So it's a franchise model whereby we train the farmer buys crawfish fries from us, and we buy the mature crawfish back from the farmers. Next slide. This is also as Kisumeo Organics, we on part of how we are incorporating circularity in production is one of the reasons why we got into crawfish farming was because other farming tilapia and farming catfish, there's a problem with feed production, accessibility of feed, and also affordability of feed. So with crawfish production, crawfish require a diet that's less on protein, so it's easy to use organically produced feeds, whereby we feed the crawfish with zola and black soldier fly. And the black soldier fly is reared directly from the farm using the waste that is coming from the production of fish, enabling us to have all year production and also reducing the cost of producing crawfish. Next slide, please. Yes, so we have this is some of the services that we have that I've said. We produce crawfish fries for farmers. We also have our own in-house production where we rear our own mature crawfish, and we have a market where we sell the live crawfish. We sell cooked crawfish, and we are doing value addition for the crawfish, whereby we're doing crawfish powder. And this is where the smallholder farmers come in. We need massive production of crawfish, and through the franchise system, we are able to attain the numbers that we need to produce on a commercial scale. Next slide. Yes, and I think I've covered most of everything from on the presentation. I think I've moved way faster than moving for the slide, but yes, we do training and the consultancy, whereby we're training these farmers. And currently there's a new product that we are launching, whereby we are developing an automated crawfish automated crawfish hatchery and also automated crawfish production, of which the software and the device will be used not only just for crawfish, but it will be a wide range used for crustaceans. This product will enable farmers to able to control the parameters like oxygen, dissolved oxygen, turbidity, temperature, which are the most important parameters used in production for crawfish, whereby with constant satellite rate, the optimum to production is 28 degrees. So with 28 degrees constant, we are able to have all year round spawning for the crawfish. This enables all year production, which enables consistent production, because the problem many farmers have experienced is that they cannot hit the market since they are not able to produce all year round. They're not able to access quality fries. So with this technology that we are incorporating, and we are also now incorporating the tech part, and it's an AI-based system where farmers can control production, mostly on not just on the hatchery part, but also on the grow-out ponds for all year production, and also to ensure precision in the production of the crawfish. Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Robin. Yes, what is your market? What is your market? Local, regional, or?
Yes, our local market, we have a big local market. There's a big Chinese presence in the country. We supply to 20%, and they are all in one place called Chinatown. And with our crawfish powder, we have a Nigerian and mostly West African restaurants in Nairobi. They are buying our crawfish powder because they use it in preparation as a seasoning in preparing soups.
And there is already a question for you. And what is the criteria used for the selection of smallholders, or in this particular case, fishermen? With how many, more or less, do you work with? And how do you?
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, most of our smallholder farmers are able, their production per year can't exceed between 600 kgs per season, 600 kgs to 1.5 tons total production.
You work with individual or cooperatives, or already fishermen in groups, or different ways altogether?
Currently, we just have one group on board, and we work with individual farmers, but we are working also. It's a women group that are doing agriculture projects, and also now head a department where now they started a crawfish project.
Great. So thank you very much for highlighting this important area. I mean, we will monitor more questions and contributions while we progress actually in the program. So thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. We go now to, and I see some of the questions on the interpretation. You have to go at the bottom of your screen, you see a globe, and then you have interpretation, and you choose your language. I mean, English, French, or Portuguese, which are the languages of those sessions now. I think most of them are now solved, but I saw many actually in the chat. So without a delay, Costantine Edward is our next entrepreneur. Is the co-founder and managing director of AgriLife in Tanzania. He's a very proactive and innovative entrepreneur. He has a background actually in agriculture, economics, and agribusiness, and he's very much passionate about transforming organic waste into animal feed protein using black soldier flies, and promoting, of course, sustainable and responsible consumption, which is one of the key areas of agroecology as well. Please, Costantine.
Yes, before I even share my slide, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on where you are. Before I begin, I would like to take a moment to express my gratitude to the COLEAD and the Pan-Africa Farmers Association for organizing this meeting and giving me the opportunity to speak. I know how much work goes into planning an event like this, and I truly appreciate all the effort that you have put into making it happen. Your commitment for supporting and empowering farmers across Africa is truly inspiring, and I'm honored to be part of this conversation. Yeah, so I will share my slide. Yeah? A confirmation, can you see this slide?
Yes, I can see it. If you can put it in full screen, perhaps. If not, go ahead.
Yeah, sure. So just a minute. Yes. Just a minute. I can reach the button to put it all the way.
Don't worry, Costantine. We can still see it, I think, adequately. Yes, go ahead.
Oh, maybe this one will work. Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah,
okay.
perfect.
Yeah, so my name is Costantine Edward. I'm from Tanzania. I'm the managing director and the co-founder of AgriLife. So AgriLife is a startup that's using the black soldier fly larvae to convert organic waste into sustainable source of protein. Let's start with the problem. So here in Tanzania, we have two major kind of problems that we're trying to tackle. So one is organic waste. We have more than 10,000 tons of organic waste that are generated every single day. And the municipal doesn't have the capacity to process or store all those kind of organic waste. And mostly are from the farms. And also the second problem that we're trying to tackle is a protein cost for the animal feed. So the 6% cost of animal feed is coming from protein, and the farmers can't afford that. So we're trying to solve the two problems. How are we solving it? We're using black soldier fly. So AgriLife, we're using black soldier fly larvae. This is a native insect for Africa and other countries that has tremendous ability to convert organic waste into sustainable source of protein. For us, it takes only 14 days to convert organic waste into alternative source of protein. Our product is circular by design. So let me give you a virtual tour. So it starts with organic waste. We are collecting organic waste from the open air market. We transport into our facility where we introduce the black soldier fly larvae to consume the organic waste. Within 14 days, the black soldier fly larvae will have consumed all the organic waste, and then we get two products. So one is feed, that is protein for animal feed, and also we get organic fertilizer for crop nourishment. So our smallholder farmers could use both the feed for poultry and fertilizer for crop nourishment. So what we get next, we get next is eggs, or maybe the consumer good from the farms. And after all, this will become organic waste. So again, we are taking this organic waste into our system. So it's like a closed loop system where there's no waste that is remaining into the environment. So our business model is very simple. So we are selling 1 kg of our alternative protein to poultry farmers. And also we are selling organic fertilizers to these smallholder farmers. Tanzania alone has 3.7 million poultry farmers, but we are targeting 185,000 poultry farmers to begin with. So we are doing it for economically, but also we are doing for the environmental side. So in terms of carbon footprint, the current solution that are in the market, so the protein that are using in the animal feed. So one is a soybean and the other one is a fish meal. But for the soybean, they have a negative effect. So one is that it needs a lot of water. So it's a high water footprint. And also due to the climate change, so the farmers are not certain if they will get the demand that they need. And the second problem that in Tanzania, we don't produce enough of our soybean, so we have to import from nearby country. So that's one problem that we have in our current feed system. And also the second alternative protein, they use a fish meal. But with a fish meal, they use a smaller fishes as a source of protein. But with that, we get 30% of the fish that could be used for animal feed, it goes into feeding other animals. So for us, we see it's not sustainable. But for our solution, so AgriLife solution, for every, so the current solution actually in terms of carbon footprint, for every 1 hectare of soybean production, it produces 1.6 tons of carbon dioxide emission. But for us, for every 1 ton of organic waste that we recycle through our insect, we are reducing 2.94 metric tons of carbon dioxide emission. So in a year, we are reducing more than 100 plus metric tons of carbon dioxide emission. So AgriLife lead by a team of 4 award-winning co-founders. So I myself, managing director. We have Adrian Rasco. She's a Bachelor of Entomology and she's a research and development specialist. Herman Edward is our director of operation. And we have Grace Manuel, she's our marketing manager. So this is our production facility that we are currently having. This is where we are doing our process and keeping our larvae. This is our drying facilities. This is a solar dryer. So this is where we dry our black soldier fly larvae. And so this is our organic fertilizer that we are selling to smallholder farmers so that they can grow their crops without incurring much cost from manufactured fertilizer. So yeah, that's it. Thank you very much. These are our social medias and the website. So in case you want to contact us, you can get in touch. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Costantine. Actually, yes, some people were asking for your website. Thank you for sharing that. And we will take all the questions. So please post the questions in the chat or Q&A, actually, and we will take them after the all presentations, which are complementary to each other. So we go now to Ella.
Is a founder of AgroTech, and she's a member of the producers organization PROPAC, which is a member of PAFO, continentally speaking. She is born and raised in Chad with a background in management and in Cotonou in Bénie. You have a lot of experience in agriculture and also in product management, which led you to be involved with the production of local produce with women. And it's in this context that you created AgroTech, dealing with sustainable development and agriculture and organic agriculture. So you have the floor. Thank you very much. So, good morning, afternoon, evening. My name is INZAHBO. I'm a founder of AgroTech. It's a women cooperative specializing in the production, processing, and marketing of agricultural products. Our cooperative was created to facilitate the daily consumption of local products by the population. Our mission is to promote local products and enhance sustainable agriculture and to grow and process local produce while improving the economic performance of women and youth and preserve the resources on which agricultural production is based. Our scope of intervention is agroecology, on the way to economic, environmental, and social performance, the transformation of agricultural products into byproducts. We also contribute to capacity building through training, innovation, and dissemination of new knowledge and skills. We also develop and lead collective projects, and AgroTech strives to improve the living conditions of all its members, and it focuses in particular on improving the situation and the capacity building of women and young people at local level. What are our activities on the field? AgriTech produces, processes, markets, and supports women and young people in their struggle for food security and sustainable development. Here you see some ladies working in the onion production. Here we have the harvesting of these onions. You see the women below the trees collecting the products. These are the activities that we have on the field. We also work with tomatoes. You see here the transplanting and harvesting of tomatoes in the field. We also produce rice. And as we were talking of agroecology before, sometimes when it is raining, we may meet some difficulties. We also have a vegetable garden. And we have our own vegetable garden where we also grow orange trees and other kind of vegetables and fruit. And these is another image of our activities where you can see women of market gardening are going to the field and collecting salads, lettuce, and other kind of vegetables. We also support women for market gardeners. Here on the picture you see the women we're working with. We're working on the empowerment of women where we teach them how to use the different tools available to boost their agricultural production. Here you have an image on compost production. Women are producing their own compost to use on their plots. We had to meet some difficulties. COVID-19 has affected the agricultural sector worldwide in a negative way. So we, the farmers had to continue working to ensure food security and ensure that the food value chain would keep working. The pandemic has had an important impact on the activities of AgriTech. We were also faced with the devastation of fields by animals and the unsuitability of seeds to climate change. Other difficulty we had to face was a poor access to financial resources and the effects of climate change with flooding observed in cultivation areas in 2022 and 2023, where many plots were affected in Chad. We also saw that the floodwaters were withdrawing very slowly, which created an additional problem for women working. The early pricing of water points was also a issue for market gardening and a short duration of rainfall due to climate change. we innovated and adapted to the circumstances, introducing vegetable crops with the seed selection adapted to the reality of climate change, taking into account conservation and sustainability, with soil enrichment using compost and thereby reducing the environmental risk. We introduced also vegetable gardening, producing differently, rethinking agriculture production systems on diversification, efficiency, and sustainability of natural resources, processing our agricultural products into byproducts. Here you can see how women were transforming tomato with solar dryers to convert the tomatoes in power. Here you see the process of drying, where the women were already selecting and sorting the tomatoes to put them in the dryers. Here we are drying the okras. Here you see how women are dehydrating the okras to transform and process it into its different products. Here you see the okras on the left side, on the right side, the tomato, where women are converting the tomato in pulp, in powder. The tomato is dried and is converted into powder. And here you see another dryer. This is the solar dryer for the onions, as we are proposing market gardening. This is where the women are drying our products. And here, this is an image of our shop in Jamela, the capital, where we sell all our processed products, whereas the fresh produce are sold directly in the farms. And this is our shop in the capital. Thank you very much. If you have questions, do not hesitate to ask them.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed, we have questions. You have a shop in town and you also sell on site from the farms. Yes, we sell from the plot, on the plots, in the field. Lettuce, fruits, and so on. Okay, on site. For the time being, these are local markets, as you said. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Without major delay, we now go to our next, next entrepreneur, if he's ready. Edmond Ngwala, founder and CEO of Ngwala Inventions in Tanzania. Edmond is, I hope he has a good connection because we had some trouble before. So let's hope, but he's a climate smart agricultural professional and entrepreneur with really experiences in sustainable agribusiness practices. He supports the production of organic pesticides, and fertilizers, and supplies them.
Hello.
Yes, we hear you. So you supply them to rural smallholder farmers in Africa, trying to have a zero waste alternative to the chemical pesticides and fertilizers. And you help hundreds of thousands of women and youth increasing their yields while, of course, conserving the environment as well. And you have also been offering prices and in the COP27 and by recently in 2023, actually, by the French Development Agency as well, AFD. So you have many recognitions for this work. Edmond, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I will share my presentation.
You are in the field, right? Great, thank you.
Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Edmond Ngwala. I'm the CEO and founder of Ngwala Inventions. We are based in Tanzania. Ngwala Inventions, we make organic farming more profitable to African farmers. Our mission is to be the regional producer and distributor of organic pesticide and fertilizer to smallholder farmers in Africa through the digital innovative delivery system. But our vision is to eradicate hunger, poverty, and environment pollution using environmental friendly organic pesticide and fertilizer that are cost effective. Next slide. While invention, we are solving the problem of high cost of pesticide and fertilizer that has been using for years ago by smallholder farmers. So the high cost of this pesticide have made these farmers to be poor because they have learned their farming on high cost. So we have seen that the problem, and that's why we have come with a low cost organic pesticide and fertilizer. But also this pesticide and fertilizer are packed in bottles or containers, which are sources of pollution. So farmers, after being using the pesticide and fertilizer, which are chemicals, they dump the containers randomly and pollute our land, but also they are taken by water to other sources like rivers, oceans, and lakes. So we have come with the solution. Our solution is we do convert organic waste to biopesticide and biofertilizer using enzymatic process and the microbes. So we use animal urine and fruit peels that we collect from the local market and households. So after conversion of those organic waste, we distribute them by using a digital delivery system. So we have innovated a mobile money, digital organic pesticide and fertilizer dispensing that we use to distribute our product, and we install it at a strategic farming location where farmers are residing in a particular area. They can access now organic pesticide and fertilizer easily from the machines. So the machine have several features. It allows farmers to pay by using electronic cards. So for those smaller farmers who don't have cash by the particular time, we allow them to purchase the product on credit so that they pay us later, because we need every farmer to transform from chemical pesticide and fertilizer to organic one. That's why we allow credit purchasing of our product. But also the machine is have a mobile app that helps to track the expenditures and the uses, but also the impact of the organic pesticide and fertilizer that have been used by smallholder farmers. Also, it's allowed to scan the crop which have been affected by the pest, in order now the farmer to understand which kind of pest have affected his or her crop, as well as the soil. It allows the soil analysis and give the answer to farmers that what deficiency of nutrients is lacking to that soil. And from that point, the farmer now make a collective decision to purchase the organic pesticide and fertilizer from our system and have to use the dossier which is required as it is recommended through the system. Next slide. So we are working with smallholder farmers, and these are those farmers who are living in rural areas, growing vegetables and other cereal crops. As you can see on the pictures, these are our customers, and most of them are aged between 18 to 50 years. So we promote these farmers to transform from chemical to organic farming. Next slide. Our business model is so simple. we sell our organic pesticide and fertilizer directly to smallholder farmers. We sell it at $7, which is $2 less compared to our competitors. But also, we also allow the biopesticide and biofertilizer manufacturers to use our digital delivery system. So we charge 10% as the commissioner for offering this service when they are selling their organic pesticide and fertilizer to their clients or smallholder farmers. So up to now, we have acquired several achievements, and one of them, we have reached more than 200,000 smallholder farmers. These are directly and indirectly smallholder farmers, because we also train farmers on the manufacture of this organic pesticide and fertilizer if they're not able to purchase from us. But also we have made an average revenue of $10,000. This is the monthly revenue. Also, we are operating in East Africa. By now, we are operating in Tanzania and Rwanda. We have formed a partnership currently with UNDP to make sure that smallholder farmers from Africa, from Tanzania, got the knowledge on how to convert the organic waste to pesticide and organic pesticide and fertilizer, but also on the proper use of the organic pesticide and fertilizer, so that they can have high yields compared to the low yields that we are having before. But also we have created employment, more than 120 employment. These are professional and non-professional, and it includes female and male. On top of that, we have received several awards. We have received award from Conservation Finance Alliance, Milk and Remote Sector Foundation, the Foreign Ministry of Egyptian Ministry of Foreign Affairs in collaboration with the UNFCCC and the World Bank. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Edmond. Very much appreciated and very, very interesting, the combination on agroecology and new technologies as well, and use of app. We will come back to you with some questions as well. So we have two speakers actually to go that are organizations who are entrepreneurs, but at the same time support organizations. So they support, they are part of the ecosystem which supports entrepreneurs and of course active in agroecology and sustainable practices. So Rosinah MBENYA is the country coordinator of PELUM. I'm sure that you know PELUM already, a participatory ecological land use management organization. She's based in Kenya. She's a very involved as the organization in promoting agroecological principles and practices among especially smallholder farmers as well as pastoralists in Kenya. She has a long standing experience on agroecology, climate change, but also market development, advocacy and capacity development and networking, and really supporting eco-friendly agricultural practices. So Rosinah, very happy to have you from Kenya as well. Please share some information you have from PELUM and your work. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Isolina, for the introduction, and greetings everyone.
Can you try, Rosinah, to put full screen eventually? If not, it's fine, just if it's easy for you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Great.
Yeah, thank you. And again, I'm Rosinah MBENYA. I work as the country coordinator of PELUM Kenya Network, basically, which is a network of civil society organizations who are working directly with smallholder farmers and pastoralists in Kenya to promote agroecological principles and practices. As you can see from the screen, we have our own definition of agroecology in our strategic plan, but basically it's just farming which is eco-friendly and farming in tandem of the biological principles and environmental principles. I won't go into the details of explaining what agroecology is, but looking at this diagram, usually we know that agroecology is a science, a movement, and practice. But today I want to focus more on the practice that is the practices that are being promoted within our network. And as I venture into them, I want to explain that from our network view, agroecology basically is the intersect of all these practices within our network. Just a minute. And just a minute. Yeah, it's an intersect of all these practices among the farmers. Of course, our farmers have to have like forestry trees because we don't want farmers who are just doing like organic only. They also have to look at the soil health. So they are promoting soil health through regenerative permaculture, ensuring there's landscaping and having a mind when you're doing your farming. Other things like biointensive, that is trying to use all that you can within your vicinity and be able to apply purely like on-farm practices by yourself, conservation agriculture, among all these practices. And of course, from the definitions that we know, we have the elements of agroecology, which I want to explain, and the principles of agroecology. And today in my presentation, I just want to pick on a few best practices. I hope you can see my screen now with the photos on diversification and circular economy. Yes, so as you can see, so our farmers are becoming very innovative to ensure that as agroecological farmers, they are diversifying their livelihoods, having different things on the farm, like small livestock, having like apiculture, having like integrating even like vegetable farming. And like the photo below here is one of our farmers in the tea growing zones of Kenya. And usually in the tea growing areas, most farmers, they cultivate tea, which is a cash crop for Kenya, and they get the cash, then they go and buy any kind of food which might not be healthy. But as you can see, these are farmers who we have worked closely with and being able to integrate aspects of also like vegetable and important food crops in their farm, so that they also look at their nutrition, not just the cash, because they sell, sometimes they just buy bread or other food which may not be very healthy. The other thing that we are coming up as a network is local territorial market. That's why we have the circular economy there. And basically, after the COVID-19, we realized that long value chains of food are contributing a lot to the greenhouse gases. They are also a sensitive area because we had a lot of closed lockdowns, and especially the farmers, organic farmers who are just doing for export market, who are really, really affected. Some businesses have never even come up to fit even today. And therefore, we have now started this trying to focus on local markets, value addition. Like this is a group in Nandi, which is doing some very good value addition for their cereals. And this is an organic market, farmers market in one of the towns in Kenya. So that's something we are working with our network members to enhance the local markets and ensure also we contribute to reduce greenhouse gases through shorter food chains. The other thing is within our network, there's a lot of innovation on soil health practices. The first photo here is a farmer in Western Kenya, and I did a recent visit in March, and this farmer is using biostimulants. What you're seeing there is a biostimulant, and it's helping in improving the soil health. I saw for myself, maybe I should have also put the photo of the farm, but from what I saw, it's doing magic, and it's transforming livelihoods of different farmers in Kenya. This organic fertilizer is from one of our member organization, OAC. As you know, we have the challenge of the global fertilizer challenge based on the war in Ukraine, and OAC has come up with this innovative organic fertilizer, which a 50 bag of the fertilizer goes at 1,500. Actually, the demand is higher than the supply. And compared to what the conventional fertilizer here in Kenya is selling is at 7,500 Kenya shillings. That's about $70 or so. And with the subsidized government rates, it's a half of that. But this one is around $10, $12, which is affordable and it's working. Within also our network, we are also empowering farmers to ensure that they also do soil testing services. This is one of our network members, Effective IPM Association, and they have a small lab which is working out and ensuring that farmers are getting soil testing. And once the soil has been tested, you also get recommendations on what you can do to improve the soil, and that is through agroecological practices. Of course, we have a lot of capacity trainings, and we are using what we call a multiplier effect. We have trained very many extension or staff who are working within our membership on practical skills on various soil, like this was a training on compost making, among other soil health practices. Like in Kenya, we have the famous bokashi fertilizer, which is having history from Japan, but is working. And some of the organizations like youth, with even some with youth, they have gone to a level of the and being able to sell to others who are not able to make for themselves. This is another area that we are getting to ensure that our farmers are in reducing their inputs. One area is of use of biogas. I think there is a lot of relationship between food and energy. So we are trying to see how can farmers use like this biogas, and then you're able to use the bioslurry in the farm while the gas is helping in the kitchen. The other issues is the issue of seeds, farmer managed seed systems. Of course, every crop starts with the seed, and seed is a sensitive issue among, especially in Kenya. It has a cultural meaning and also an identity as a country. So we are enhancing the capacities of farmers to save and be able to share their own indigenous seeds. This is a training session of the fertilizer I talked about, that is the bokashi. And I want to talk about the photo here below. This is one of our members in Kitale. They have a 41-acre farm where they have never applied any conventional products, and they have even some on-farm trials that they also bring farmers to come and learn. We are collaborating with them and using what we call the farmer research network approach, whereby farmers work closely and they're able to adapt to different research based on the different contexts, because we also realize that not every research finding is applicable to every context. So we are working with this, this lab. This is lab. It's one of the very good crops to intercrop and enhance the soil health. This is Azola for chicken feeds. Within our network, we are also trying to enhance farmers to have these natural ways, like the Azola weed to feed the chicken. Now, in terms of integrated pest management, there are different methods that we are using. The first photo here is the Mexican marigold, which is a very important one for putting along the edges of the farm to scare away pests. These are some of the trainings that we have been able to empower the farmers to be able to make their own natural inputs. We have the different inputs that we are using. Like we have the super magro, which is done through anaerobic ways. We have different farming liquids that our farmers are using. Of course, this is the yellow traps. This is a magic tree that is called Trifrosia. As a network, we did some research in collaboration with Manaus Agricultural Center in Kitale, is one of our members. And we found out this tree has different uses, and we are trying to scale up the same within our membership. It helps in tick management, that is pest. It's also good for putting different breeding. When the chicken are brooding, you put there and they're able to enhance the brooding. Do away with the different pests that attack chicken when they are brooding. and also helps in molds, controlling molds in Kenya. We also found out that there are effective chemotypes and there are non-effective chemotypes. The effective chemotype majorly has the white flowers, and the non-effective chemotypes as the purple flowers. So we are also trying to supply the seeds of the effective chemotype and also trying to create more awareness among farmers so that they can also learn about the different uses of that agroforestry. In terms of enhancing agroecological principles and practices, it's very important to ensure there's participation and co-creation on knowledge. You know, sometimes we assume it's the farmers on the receiving end, but farmers, I don't know why sorry. So farmers are innovative and they are able to also generate knowledge. So these are sessions with the farmers, also trying to reach out to them through different channels, through learning visits, through exhibitions, through sessions with them so that they can learn, but also we ensure that we are also co-creating knowledge with them. The other thing is we have also come up with ways to ensure that we enhance the biological synergies and trying to create awareness among different stakeholders of the importance of different biodiversity in this ecosystem, because all the time people ask, can agroecology feed the world? But the answer is actually the ecosystem is the one feeding the world, because we cannot have a world without pollinators. We cannot have a world where the catchments have been destroyed and water is now a problem. So it is for all stakeholders to understand that it's not just the production and the mechanization on the farm, but it's now an ecosystem thinking and approach. And as you can see, these are praying mantis. So it plays a very important role in the farm. These are pollinators, some are getting extinct, but that's important. And also the role of natural resource management, even aspects of water conservation and harvesting within our network, we take them very seriously so that farmers are able to use the available resources well. Now, I'm almost finishing. This is an element which is important for us, recycling and being able to enhance efficiency. As you can see, we empower our farmers to ensure that from the kitchen waste, you can feed the chicken. I know we have also seen the issue of black soldier flies. Actually, also some of our farmers, our network members, are also doing the black soldier fly within the farmers so that they can be able to feed the chicken. And of course, it's composting. Of course, we know composting enhances a lot of recycling. And I want to talk about this slide on culture and food traditions, because I think as we produce food, food has to have a meaning. It has to resonate with the people eating it so that they are able to appreciate it, because food is cultural and food is traditional. So these are just some examples of food in Kenya. And I know every country has their own food, but I want to say these are cherry tomato. A cherry
questions. One is what is the cost of operating a fish pond for crayfish? And are you expanding or present or sharing some of the skills with other countries? In this case, for example, Guinea, and now participants can access trainings in general related to the activity you do. They would like also to know for the farmers who pays for the training. So if you can quickly tell us that. For Costantine, they would like to know in which countries the products of AgriLife are sold. If the collection of waste that you use for the multiplication of the soldier fly is you pay for that waste, or is it free, or you access it free? They would like to know a bit more on how you capture and breed the black soldier fly, without getting, of course, in too much detail, or it could be shared after as well. Pour Ella, for Edmond, you have also many questions. How many different products are preloaded in the dispensing machine, and how many doses can be delivered? They would like to know a bit about the cost also of the machine, and of course there are some proposals. I leave it to you on collaborating with some of the participants. And how many smallholders a single machine can serve, and how many do you have installed already? And the same from participants from other regions. If you train entrepreneurs to the technology, for example, in West Africa or elsewhere, and then what kind of collaboration do you have with research organizations or research structures? Do you have an approval procedure for organic products in your country? Or, you know, what kind of products do you have in terms of insecticides or fungicides, etc.? Rosinah, can you organize practical trainings on the the production and use of biofertilizers? They would like also to know more about the biostimulant, how is it produced and which properties. And then on Koudasse, alors,
there may be further questions as you were the last speaker. Participants are very interested in your training courses, duration of such courses, and costs. Can these costs be shared? Our audience comes from various regions in Africa, and they would like to know how your business models can be used, imported, or adapted to other contexts.
Can we start with some of these questions? And if you have more, please put them quickly in the chat, because we have about half an hour to go before closing. Robin, can you start with the 3 questions you had, or any other thing you want to add from your side, of course, after listening to the other presentations? Thanks.
Okay, so well, the first question that you had asked on how much it costs for the pond construction, the minimum production is 1,000 meters square. That sits on that's a quarter acre pond, and that has a production capacity of 600 kgs to 1.2 tons on a season of 6 to 8 months, and that will cost farmers around $250,000. No, $2,500. That $2,500, and that has the capacity to produce to have an annual production of $25,000 to $30,000 annually.
Thank you very much.
And the second question, yes, the farmers are the ones who farmers pay the training, but we have a package whereby the farmers who, because they're farmers who will want training from our company, but they're not interested in either buying the breeding stock, the fries from us. We have different packages for different farmers. So the farmers who are joining our franchise model, they only pay for training, and we provide them with the brood stock, and they don't pay for the brood stock. But the farmers, if you're not interested in joining the franchise system, you pay both for the training and the brood stock, and you don't have buyback agreements. But if we'll get you on board on the franchise system, we'll be able to have buyback agreements whereby we guarantee you that we'll be offsetting your produce once the production cycle ends. And if there's any other inquiry, maybe from the members in the conversation, I've dropped the company's email, and also I've dropped a link to our Twitter page, because our website is still in production, still in development. So through Twitter or through the official email, you can also pop questions that you ask. And yes, we have partners in Nigeria and in Ghana and in Singapore and Brazil. So yes, thank you.
Thank you very much, Robin, for now. Costantine?
Yeah, so thank you again. I would like to say, like, congrats for the other presenters after listening to what they are doing in their country. That is very astonishing. And so back to my question, I have answered in the chat, but I will repeat again. So one, are we getting the paid waste or not? No, the waste is free, but we are paying for the transport fee. Like for now, we don't have a transport vehicle, so we need to rent a transport vehicle to transport from the market to our production facility. Again, so the market that we are selling our product is currently only in Tanzania. We haven't scaled yet. And for the black soldier fries, how are we capturing them? But we are not capturing them. So we are breeding them in our facility. So we have the cross-cutting edge technology that help us to breed the insect where we are. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Costantine. Can we go now to Ella?
Ella, did you take note of the questions to you? Yes? Please? Can you answer? Thank you very much. There were so many questions. Do we have a staff? Yes. We have a coordinator, an accountant, a manager, and someone in charge of communication. Now, regarding the way in which tomatoes can be stored without dryers. This can be done while processing the tomatoes, tomato puree, tomato marmalade or jam, without preservatives, of course, because we are in favor of organic consumption, so no preservatives. And there was another question regarding the way in which compost is produced, for how many days. Our compost training, it depends on the temperature. Normally it takes 1 week. And how do we help women for funding and training? For the time being, we have our partners with us, FAO, Oxfam, and other organizations. They listen, they're aware of our requirements, so we work with them, and we try to involve those women, help them get better organized for income generating activities. Regarding tomatoes, the specificity of tomato. So as I told you, we do not use preservatives. We sell tomato powder, which is pretty much appreciated by our customers. As for the mill, it's a local piece of equipment. It is not automated. It is local equipment adapted to our working context. That's it, I believe. I don't know if there were any more questions. Thanks a lot. Yes, there are further questions being posted at this stage. There were many questions as well on the trading aspects when it comes to selling those products, and how do you support women in terms of training and finance. It may take a bit more time. Yes. When it comes to marketing, you can check our website, our internet page, LinkedIn as well. And our communication expert is there to answer such questions. Okay, thanks a lot.
Edmond, you had many questions as well on the app, the machines you have, and some of the potential collaboration. Did you get them? Edmond, did you, perhaps we have lost him. So in the meantime, Axel, if you can check if he has lost connection. In the meantime, we go to Rosinah. Rosinah, did you note the questions about the,
Yeah, thank you so much. I noted the questions, and yeah, in terms of the biofertilizer, yes, we are able to do training. So you can reach out to us, then we can have discussions and majorly practical trainings, ideally, so that we pass the knowledge to different stakeholders on practical trainings, because we would like to see more and more of the smallholder farmers able to apply this kind of biofertilizers. The next question was the issue of the biostimulants. Yeah, but the biostimulants made from the biological aspects, but one of the key ingredients is the animal manure. And once you make it like a ball, and then you leave it to dry, but you can also reach out to us so that in case there is any need for more details, or you can visit some farmers and see how it's working. But a major ingredient is the animal manure, and then you dry it. I think I got those two questions. And there's one question which was asking if we have presence in Ghana. I don't know whether it was directed to us, to me, but yeah, for now we don't have presence in Ghana, but we have PELUM Kenya is part of the Plaja PELUM Association, which is in 12 African countries in Eastern, Central, and Southern Africa. So we are in Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Ethiopia, Rwanda. We are in Zambia, Zimbabwe, Botswana, South Africa, Lesotho, Malawi. So those are the countries we are actively engaging. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Rosinah. And indeed, some of the West African participants, interested people, could link with you as well for some of the work you are doing, and materials that are available as well on your website, or trainings that they could attend going to East Africa, or finding some type of support to do that. Alors, Koudasse, on attend, we wait that Edmond connects. I think he has some problems, but
Koudasse, I have a few questions for you. First of all, training costs. Can you give us a rough idea for 2 or 3 months? Lots of people are very interested in your trainings. How can people from other countries join your training courses? And there was one question for you, but I believe it's a bit too technical, namely how to prepare the ash stock and sulfur stock broth. And many questions also about the technical contents of all your trainings, because those trainings are highly diversified. And we can't be too specific today. All such trainings are useful as they relate to agroecology. Techniques, co-learning, and sharing also are quite important. Anything else to add, Kwesi? Thank you very much, Madam. Regarding training, as I said earlier on, for the farm school in Togo, it's 15 days, 2 weeks at a maximum, because the learners are farmers and they certainly want to get back home as soon as possible to work in their fields. Now, when it comes to the training centers, each center has its own reality and its own principles. And based on that, the center is going to define the time, the duration the learner is going to spend there before leaving and getting back home. As you know, we are also interested in peer-to-peer training, and here we do not focus on costs, but on the possibilities, the opportunities for doing so. And we have partners helping us to achieve this. And for instance, last year, 6 countries, including Senegal, Benin, and 4 others, visited our farm schools to get familiar with our practices. So all we have to do is to agree on dates, and this is it. Thank you very much, Koudasse. Indeed, I see another message from Ouattara from Burkina on the chat. Given the crisis in Ukraine and given the seed problems, he would like to get information on funding for bioseeds production. Homo, please approach us and we shall give you information as Edmond, to people who can help you.
Us, now? And did you heard the questions? Can we activate? I see him actually online. Can we try to activate his microphone? Edmond? So perhaps there is a problem there. Okay. Do anybody else from the speakers want to add something? Any of you? To what has said already, very interesting actually contributions. And if not, is there anybody from we can't open very easily the floor just because of numbers of participants. That's why we suggest in the chat. Is there somebody who has a burning question among the participants that we could eventually open the micro if Gaëtan accepts? While it's that, there were a few questions. This is just one of the sessions. We will have more showing different different models contributing to the agroecology or contributing a part of the agroecology. There was a question actually of Alimata about the network of entrepreneurs as well, and this I don't remember if PAFO CEO mentioned that at the beginning, but in view of the success of these innovation sessions we organize and the many business models that are shared and requests from participants to have a space for exchange before and after those sessions, so beyond just the 2 hours sessions we are online, we are building a platform to feature those and exchange experiences from all of you. So hopefully in the next innovation session, we will be able to share that, I mean, with you. I also thank you very much for the the participants from the other regions as well. I see a very strong presence from the Caribbean, Europe, and elsewhere. So that is very much appreciated because the knowledge in agroecology is not confined to one region, and there is a lot of learning across regions as well. Axel tells me there is somebody who has raised his hand. Axel, you can put the camera and the micro, and then people see you as well as you interact a lot with Axel.
Hello. Yes, Isolina, you have two hands raised from Mohammed and Oscar.
Mohammed, I don't know if you are English or French speaking, actually. Mohammed Abdi Yama.
Yes, hello. Yes, hello.
Hello.
Good. Hello, are you hearing me?
Yes, we are. We hear you very well, Mohammed.
Are you hearing me?
We hear you very well.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much. Actually, I really interested in to see the agroecology and innovation sessions, which I attended this afternoon. It was a really very constructive and very important, which can improve the farmers to have a very interconnected networks. For me, it's the first time I have attended. I'm a channel from Somalia, and we are really interested in this platform. Here we have what we call farmers associations for different, locations. So my question was, one of the critical issues we are facing is how to manage the pests and diseases and the seed itself. So my question is how we can contribute, how we can participate the capacity building programs, the trainings, the agroecology and innovations, because we want to produce organic food without using any chemicals. We want to protect the health of our people. So one of the panel questions I was thinking was what organic or biological method that we can use to maintain the health of our crops and to produce more for the safety of the people. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mohammed, and thank you very much for joining us from Somalia. Very much appreciated. And we would love to have cases from Somalia, who are not very much you received so far. So anything you can send us or link us with networks there would be appreciated. I will also link you after the session with my colleagues from the training. I see as well from Elizabeth Findaleno in the chat actually a question on training on biofertilizers as well. We at COLEAD have a whole training unit with lots of topics and subtopics, most of them actually contributing to agroecology, and some are online, free of access, and others could be more customized, especially in Somalia for smallholder, and farmers organizations. That would be great. And also, I'm sure that among our participants here and speakers like PELUM and others, they will have also a lot to offer in terms of training, and they are in your region. Rosinah, I don't think you are in but you are in Kenya. So, Somalia is very close. So perhaps you can also help on the organic. One of the strengths of PELUM is also organic production. So together with other partners, we could get back to you, Mohammed, on how we could support. Indeed. I don't know if Rosinah or anybody else wants to add something. If not, what was the second? Yes, Rosinah, please. I saw your face. Please.
Thank you.
Because you are very close to Somalia as well.
Yeah, we are close to Somalia. Actually, they are also in Eastern Africa, and it's a pleasure to meet Mohammed. I've posted my email, so you can reach out to me there. Then we can continue the discussion. Thank you.
Axel, dis-moi qui d'autre? Who else wants to speak before we go to the closing
We had Jean-Marie Agosou who wanted to speak.
Alors oui, je vois la main. Jean-Marie, alors là.
Yes, I see your hands raised. Yes, Jean-Marie, I'm pretty sure you speak French. From Togo, Benin, or where are you from? Good morning to all of you. Jean-Marie Agosou from Benin. Please take the floor. Thank you very much for this very interesting session on training. We hear talking a lot about capacity building on agroecology. I followed the presentations of the panelists very thoroughly. My name is Jean-Marie Agosu, and I work for ACET. It's a Center for the Sustainable Environment, and we work on agroecology for several years now. In the activities that we have, we worked with communities that are in the value chain of the water hyacinth for compost and how to transform this plant, which is an invasive plant, and we transformed this plant in compost. On the innovations, we also build capacity in communities on the use of bio or growth bio activators using local plants to fight against for pest control. And we also worked quite a lot in this sector. This session should also go a bit further, but we do not want to consider agroecology as simply a branch of agriculture. And the ideal would to be talking about what we have. Agroecology is an area of innovation that can be very useful in solving the food safety questions. And my question was referring specifically to seeds. With war in Ukraine, we have this difficulty of obtaining adapted seeds adapted to the climate change. So how can we help the communities to benefit from access to these kind of seeds? Thank you very much, Jean-Marie. Indeed, seed is a very critical point, especially ones that are produced by smallholders locally, which is a key factor for agroecology. And here we can also facilitate a contact between COLEAD, PAFO, PELUM, and of course, ROPPA too. Koudasse has also shared some good practices, and we can, of course, help you to get more information for this key topic, especially with the war between Ukraine and Russia. Okay, if there are no further very important topics, I remind you of the fact that we will be sharing the presentations and the recordings, so you will be able to follow all the presentations if you met them. I do not want to extend too much on concluding this, because these sessions are no theoretical or academic approaches to specific topics. They really serve as a showcase of what entrepreneurs are going through with what they can do with small mediums and what they were able to do. So we aim at sharing all these experiences and hope that some of our partners, in particular the financial partners, will find this information of interest to contribute to the development of these projects or support other regions for them. I believe that all the presentations that we had were quite complementary and very interesting. I appreciated the innovations that were showed, knowing that each entrepreneur had to go through quite a lot of difficulties also, but it's very interesting to see that many youth and women were involved.
Babafemi, sorry, CEO of PAFO, you have been listening carefully. I'm sure that you have some feedback to give us as well from where you are. Again, thanking you very much for the great partnership we have with PAFO and with the smallholder farmers. And our added value COLEAD PAFO is trying to bring together the smallholders, with the entrepreneurs and SMEs, and seeing the innovations that they jointly do. And now, you know, these two can meet each other. Do you have something to add if you are still online?
No, Isolina, it's just to really appreciate the various speakers and presenters of this edition. And as we look at the various innovations that were showcased, we can see that the objective of the innovation session, particularly this edition, has been largely achieved. And like you said, we see the balance of also the women and the men in the presentations and the various discussions. Again, we find out that the session was very interesting because we noticed the keen interest of the audience in the various presentations, and that was what suscitated a lot of questions from the audience, which is very, very good. We also want to encourage them to be part of future editions, and also be ready to showcase their innovations in the themes that we are going to be choosing in the future. And also, I want to encourage that there will be networking among the various participants on this session, so that the issue cannot be exhausted within the time limit we have. So there are still a lot of issues that we need to discuss among ourselves, a lot of questions we need to ask on the theme, and which we can find answers as we relate together, as we network together. And also, there are still aspects of the agroecology that we can still consider in the future editions to really, like Isolina said, this is not a theoretical issue, this is practical. We want to showcase what is on the ground, what people are doing, so that others will learn from them, and they will be able to also adopt the same practices and methods. So I want to also thank all those who have contributed to this edition. We thank the technical crew, thank the interpreters who have made it possible for us to understand the presentations. And also, I want to really thank Isolina for the way she competently moderated the session. And I want to assure you that the PAFO will continue to cooperate and collaborate with COLEAD to continue this innovation series. And we want you, please, to also suggest to us the themes and the issues that you think these innovation sessions will also look at in the future editions. So I want to really thank every one of us for the success of this session. Thank you, and I wish that we continue to discuss and continue to interact with one another on this issue. Thank you very much. Back to Isolina.
Thank you very much, Babafemi, as well. And indeed, you highlighted very important points. There is also some messages of people wanting to share best practices, books and experiences on agroecology. Please do that. We will make sure that when we send a recording and the link to the presentations, we also include some of your work. I mean, we all have to contribute to that. And I see a message from Autre Terre, par exemple, in West Africa, but any of you who want that. And indeed contribute, we do this as well with PAFO on the topics. While we, of course, want to promote sustainable agriculture, that is something that we strongly, PAFO and ourselves, COLEAD wants, with the support of the European Commission and the support of the OECPS, Organization of Africa, Caribbean and Pacific States, from our side, and PAFO, we do promote agroecology and sustainable agriculture where possible, but we also have mechanisms to support the transition towards, because it's not always easy. It requires a lot of knowledge, technical expertise, finance, support, the transitioning to more sustainable practices as well for some of the businesses, cooperatives, and smallholder organizations. So please do that. And in terms also of proposing topics, feel free to send email to the ones that Axel and Daria have been posting. We look at them very carefully. Come back when the topic is of interest to you and when you are available. We have about a rate of 50% of participants who are returnees, so they come to more than 3 or 4 sessions systematically. And also, if you want to present again, you think that you have an interesting case, please do that, because we will be delighted. We had many speakers, about I think now 20–30% who have been just reaching out after one of these sessions and proposing, the business, and they came as speakers. So I thank you also, like Babafemi, thank you very much to the great presenters. It was all very, very interesting. The only problem and limitation is time. So we are now 4 exactly, the time to close. And I thank again the interpreters, of course. I thank the PAFO colleagues, in addition to the CEO, Emerance and INSAF on the communication side. I thank the colleagues that you don't see from our side and are very active behind the scenes, that they can put the camera now. Axel, very much for interacting with her. Daria, if she's there as well. Of course, Gaëtan, who is with the Zoom, all this technical part that seems very easy and is never easy, because it's always, voila, Gaëtan. When it's easy, it means it has been a lot of work. So thank you very much, and many more of the colleagues. So see you soon then. So, and keep well, keep safe, and thank you very much for your continued support. And I think we had hundreds of participants today. We have an average of 800 and sometimes 1,000 registered. So thank you very much to all of you, and keep well. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.